Hi, welcome back to Mental Override. I just want to thank you if you click the link below for today's talk on gratitude and overcoming fear. So, gratitude. Well, I want to speak from experience. First of all, that's how I start my day. Have you ever considered starting your day with an attitude of gratitude? When I wake up in the morning, sometimes I'll go downstairs and wake up my kids. Sometimes my kids will wake up and jump on my bed and wake me up. And I look at them and I say attitude, and they reply back of gratitude. And I'll ask them, what are 3 things that you're thankful for? You see, if we start our days with an attitude of gratitude, we instantly open ourselves up to the possibilities of today. See, today is all there is. The past is the past. The future hasn't come. If we're living in the past, we're probably going to have anxiety. We're probably going to complain. If we're living in the future, we're waiting for things to happen, and we can't even be present a lot of the times. So starting off with an attitude of gratitude sets the stage to be aware of opportunities. Now, when we think of fear, fear is false expectations appearing real, or a future down payment on what you don't want. You see, when we focus on fear, a lot of times we focus on what is wrong, what's happening that we don't want, what we don't like. That will build anxiety in us. It can paralyze us. It can stop us from accomplishing the things that we want to accomplish. A lot of times fear can be addictive. It can be something that is like analyze till you're paralyzed. I know I've ran into that in making difficult decisions. And sometimes you just need to do the thing. I'll give you an example. The other day I went to the range with my son, and he hadn't been to the range before where there was multiple shooters. And we were sighting in his deer rifle this year for hunting, and there was a lot of concussions. The concussions were very heavy, and for kids, that can be a bit of a shock. If you haven't been around large firearms, say like a .338 Lapua, they got a major concussion. And we were right beside a couple shooters with short barrels, and the concussion was really, really getting to him. So we took some time, we sat back, and we had a little bit of exposure. And what I ended up doing is he wanted to fire his new rifle, which was a 6.5 PRC. Mind you, he's 11 years old. And so what I did is I ended up putting my hand and putting his hand in between the buttstock and the rifle itself. Now, the other day he had shot a 12 gauge, and it kicks way more than this rifle. And I fired the rifle, and he was able to feel it. He was able to get a little bit of exposure, and then he realized, oh, this is so simple. It's not what I thought it was at all. It was way worse in my head. I'd made it up. I had these false expectations that it was going to hurt, that it was going to be this huge bang, appearing real. And so with a little bit of exposure, he had a joyous event. And he was very grateful. He had so much fun. He was able to fire about 100 rounds and practice shooting and understand how far he could shoot before the deer season. Now, bringing this back here, fear can paralyze us when we see a problem in our life, when we focus on what is wrong, when we continually focus on the negative. I find we also tend to complain. And I think gratitude is the antidote to complaining. I have it on my marker board at home and the marker board is a list of all the really important things that I've learned and I've taken to heart. And it was that complaining is of the lowest by vibration, the easiest to do, and it costs you the most. Have you ever been around someone who complains all the time? It's a very low vibration. It just sucks the energy out of you. It's almost like an energy vampire. It's always focusing on the negative. It's never being present. It's focusing on the past all the time. And we see gratitude brings us into the now. It brings us into the present. On Wednesday's talk, I talked about being present, riding your bike and being like a kid again, being able to be in the moment. And when we're present, we can overcome fear because we can see the truth. See, the truth for my son was that it wasn't as bad as he thought it was at all. So I'll keep it simple today. You're heading into the weekend. What are you grateful for? Are you going into the weekend to self-medicate, to escape your job, to escape your life, to escape all the things that you're doing throughout the week? Now, I get it. We all have to do what we have to until we can do what we want to. But are you spending your extra time, your free time, with some gratitude and doing the things you want to do? Or are you just recovering from the week that you chose? Perhaps you need to make a new decision. Perhaps fear is standing in the way. Maybe if we had some gratitude or focused on gratitude for what you did have from the week, it could open your eyes and it could help you have a different perspective, maybe a clear perspective of the truth of your situation. Maybe the truth is you need to leave that job. Maybe the truth is you need to take a step into becoming an entrepreneur, doing the thing that you want to do. Maybe the truth is you need to forgive someone that's hurt you, that's keeping you in that negativity of complaining, that victim mindset that gives your power away and says, if only that thing would happen, if only that person would stop doing that, if only I had this, if only I made more money, my life would be different. You see, by complaining, we give our power away and we put that power in someone else's hands, saying that we're paralyzed to make a change. We're paralyzed to do something different. When we have gratitude, when we can focus on the truth and be present, we can make choices to take steps to overcome fear. See, that's what mental override is about. It's consciously taking an action in spite of fear, in spite of our environment, in spite of our situation, towards an outcome that we want to have. Sometimes, like for my son, it was that baby step of being exposed to the concussions. Then it was coming up to the firing line and being near the rifle as it fires. Next, it was putting his hand between the butt and the rifle itself and feeling some of that. But all of that had an attitude of gratitude, not a complaining, not a not wanting, not a low vibration. It was, I'm going to challenge myself and I want to take advantage of the opportunity that I see before me. And when we're complaining, we don't see the advantages. All we see is the negativity. And trust me, there is so much of that negativity in the world. A lot of times, if you look online or you watch TV, you're basically looking for where are you on the hierarchy of victimhood? Who's done you wrong? How are you a victim? You see, claiming that you're a victim all the time doesn't necessarily help you towards changing your outcomes. Now, I do get there are actual victims, victims of crime, victims of situations, but a lot of times we get stuck in those situations. We get stuck in that victim mentality and we are unable to break free. So my challenge to you today is start your day off with an attitude of gratitude. Go to your children, go to your spouse, tell them 3 things that you're grateful for and ask them in return, what are you grateful for? Find out what they're interested in. Find out what moves them the most. Perhaps you can learn their love language. Perhaps you can double down on the things that they have the most gratitude for. Perhaps Christmas is coming up. It's a good opportunity to ask people, what they're thankful for and maybe help move them in that direction. Maybe they're working towards a business, a challenge, something they're trying to learn internally, something they're trying to overcome. And, maybe they're just grateful that they made it through another day of their struggle. And you can learn to appreciate how hard they're working on themselves. So today, attitude of gratitude. I'll do it again here. 3 more things that I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for this beautiful weather in October up here in Canada. It was getting cold. It's still a bit warmer. I don't take that lightly, and I try to take advantage of each day that's beautiful to get out on the Bronson and get some rides in. Before we switch to the fat bike. I'm grateful for my health. I've had a number of injuries in my life, but I'm still able to ride my bike. I know people who have had injuries that are life-changing, and it's completely limited what they can do. So despite my own personal limitations, I'm so grateful for the ability to still ride my bike. 2, 3, I'm grateful for my friends and the people who are tuning into this channel. So if you are getting something from these lessons, if you're getting something from the experience that I'm sharing with you, if you're learning anything or growing, comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to interact with you guys. And again, we'll look at doing another live, and I'll make a post beforehand. So maybe we can interact and you guys can ask some questions. What I'd love to talk about is just overcoming fear. I've had a number of experiences being a former sergeant in the Canadian Infantry, being an instructor at a high-performance driving school, being a trained mountaineer, mountaineering and climbing most of my life, being a downhill mountain bike racer and Canada Cup champ. there's a lot of experiences overcoming fear, even having kids, starting a family, starting my own business. I have a lot of experience that has taught me the techniques, the routines to overcome fear. So take the time this weekend, have an attitude of gratitude, and use gratitude to overcome fear. Thanks for tuning in to Mental Override.